Grace and peace, brothers and sisters. My name is Nick, and I thank God for you. So today I want to talk about laziness. First off, I want to say before anything else that I struggle a lot with laziness. Especially right now, I'm on winter break, and with all this free time from classes on my hands, I can easily spend the day just watching Netflix or doing mundane tasks that don't really help my spiritual life or goals at all. I don't think anyone is a fan of laziness, so why is it that oftentimes we fail to overcome the struggle? I'm just gonna share a couple of my thoughts that have helped me in this fight, and I hope they can encourage you guys too. My main encouragement to you would be to declare war on laziness. It's not a new idea to declare war on your sins. In fact, I think that's one of John Piper's favorite encouragements. However, I felt it might be necessary to repeat this in light of laziness. In my opinion, I think laziness may just be the sneakiest sin out there. I do this weird thing where I keep telling myself that I can do it in the future or that I have time, but the reality is time is much shorter than you think, and laziness does not go away on its own. A helpful metaphor might be to think of a leaky rooftop. Leaky rooftops don't fix themselves with time. If you leave them, then you're either eventually gonna have to fix a bigger leak or your house is gonna get flooded. Brothers and sisters, we've got to stop treating laziness as if it'll fix itself. That when we get that promotion, that when we graduate, that when we get married, it'll all just click. In my experience, I found that added responsibility rarely fixes a situation, but it oftentimes makes it more difficult. I like to say declare war on laziness because it makes it less flowery than our minds want to make it out to be. I've personally never been in a war, but I would imagine you would do whatever you can to stay alive and whatever you can to save your friends. In war, you don't have time to goof off. Every ounce of your being is dedicated to your mission. In the same way, this is how I think we should tackle laziness. Not simply by acknowledging it, but by actively fighting it with all that we've got for our God. I want to further positively encourage you guys with the fact that God calls us to be good stewards of our time and work. It says in Colossians 3, whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men. Realize that if you call yourself a follower of Christ, everything you do now is no longer for a paycheck or a certain status, but it's for your relationship with our God. Also know that our good works don't justify our faith, but I also don't think God would be pleased with half-hearted efforts. Our Father cares about our hearts, and a heart that repeatedly ignores our responsibility is a heart that may not fully love the Lord. Before the fall of man, God made Adam to work. This was supposed to be good, and it was supposed to give him joy. In the same way, when we're given an opportunity to work, I see it as an opportunity to delight in God's creation. Don't look at it as if your boss is telling you that you should be happy he's giving you unpaid overtime because it'll improve your work skills. But do be reminded that God is our Father. He is faithful, and He promises that He knows what's best for us and that the work He's given us is good. In fact, if we really search our hearts, I think we all know that excessively and endlessly looking at our Instagram feeds or playing games just doesn't feel right. And for me, doing those mundane things often just leaves me feeling tired. I think rest is important, but I pray that we would be more intentional with our time and think more about when rest becomes excessive to the point of laziness. My final encouragement to you guys would be to be patient. There's a reason why there are hundreds of YouTube channels out there dedicated to time productivity, time management, procrastination, etc. In fact, I'll link a couple of my favorite videos in the description about some practical ways that you can fight laziness. All things aside, rest assured that you are not alone in your fight against laziness. We're human. We naturally want to choose the easy way out. But the easy way, the lazy way, is rarely good for our friends, our family, our relationships, our goals, and our faith. Please be reminded that work with a heart centered on glorifying God will give you more joy than any Netflix marathon or any subtle Asian trait meme can. The grace of God be on you, brothers and sisters. Love you lots. Peace.